Welcome to another episode of NFL News on the Boomer Bust channel. I'm your host, Terry, and today got a couple things to talk about. First off, talking about Deshaun Watson. Yesterday, maybe before, but I heard about it yesterday. At some point, reports got out, rumors that Deshaun Watson talked to some teammates and said that he might be requesting a trade, just giving them a heads up. And that kind of spread like wildfire. We obviously live in a very reaction-heavy society, prisoner of the moment. So that and clickbait, that stuff flew everywhere. Where should Deshaun Watson go? Where would it be the best landing spots? How your team could get Deshaun, like just everywhere. It was ridiculous for something that was a rumor. It was really not based in anything. But it spread around so much to the point that the Texans even reacted to it. I will say, I forgot, is it Bob McCain, something like one of those, something like that. He's a beat writer for, the Houston Chronicles. So he did say that, Deshaun was frustrating, potentially might ask for a trade, but again, a lot of stuff was rumors. A lot of stuff had no real evidence behind it. But again, it spread so much that the Houston Texans responded to let you know, no, that's not happening. Texans said that's not happening. And then obviously they just hired a new GM. He got on his, first, speech, and he said that Deshaun Watson's our guy. And so the rumor is, again, more rumors, that this kind of sparked, or at least came to a head. It didn't start because of this, but it came to a head because Deshaun Watson didn't have input on who the GM hire was. Now, there's conflicting reports. Some say the Texans promised him he would have input, and they just didn't. Now, I don't think they would randomly come out of nowhere and tell Deshaun Watson that. Some reports were saying that he gave his input or gave his suggestions and they didn't consider it. So somewhere in between the line, Watson wanted to be part of that decision and he was not, at least not to the point that he was happy with. And so that was kind of the culmination of obviously them trading, D-Hop, and I mean, I don't really know besides that. They traded a first round pick to get Laramie Tunsil after I'm sure he and everybody complained about the O-line. Yes, they got rid of D-Hop. They also gave him a fat contract. So I don't know what else besides the D-Hop stuff, but that plus this, they say frustrations in the relationship is bad. So that's where we are. Now, there's a couple things to me. First off, that stands out to me. And I see I don't really respect most of the talking media, but I see a couple of them I'm still shocked by are like backing up Deshaun Watson on this. My question is, what does Deshaun Watson know about hiring a GM? That's what I would like to know. What does he know about hiring a GM? What does he know about the job of a GM? It reminds me, obviously, if you see the channel, I do a lot of movie stuff too. But football and sports in general, but usually football really reminds me of the movies. The production of a movie in football is very, very similar. You can almost interchange the talking points. And in the movies, the star of the movie, or the big actor or whatever, or even the big director, they don't get to make the trailer. They don't get to do the marketing. They don't get to, or the star doesn't go in and tell the director how to edit the movie. Like, yes, you are a star and you might be a big important piece, but that doesn't mean that you know other people's jobs, especially highly specialized ones. And so obviously it's more specialized in the movies, but even still in the NFL, the front office side is not the same as playing quarterback. And so I get it. I get that whatever the case is, either he wanted his input included. But to me, why do we need to include your input other than just to appease you? And and that's a slippery slope. And I know that's one of the fallacies and arguments, but I believe in slippery slope a lot because as long as it's nothing crazy, you can realistically look what that leads to. Precedence is a legal concept for a reason. So if you say, all right, Deshaun Watson, all of us can agree, unless there's something about Deshaun I don't know. Deshaun Watson has no experience. He has no acumen. He has no real reason to be part of a GM hiring. And I'm not excluding the coach. Now, obviously, the coach makes more sense. The coach is in charge of putting together, well, now a head coach does more than just your job and your unit, but you need a relationship with the head coach. The head coach is going to affect that day to day. But as the GM is so different. That job has nothing to do with you. I mean, obviously it affects you, but that is very different. And so my slippery slope is if I say, okay, we're going to take your input. Now, maybe not Deshaun Watson, but maybe the next star says, input's not enough. I want final say on the GM hire. Because everybody's like, I don't care. If you don't care about his opinion, you do it just because he's a star. Okay, exactly. Now follow that logic. Now, what if the next star says, well, I want to have final say on the GM, or I'm going to be upset and request a trade? Do you then say, okay, that's okay, we got to follow that? And then if you do that, what if the next person says, I want final say on the head coach, or I want to start looking at people's contracts? Like, where does it stop? Where does it stop? You don't start this. You don't mix the lines and muddy the waters. You keep it where it's supposed to be. You are a player. That's not to say you're not a great player. That's not to say we don't respect you. We respect you by employing you. And then we also respect you on the football side of things. We're not going to have you hiring the staff. And again, what does he know about it? If you said, I want input on the new quarterback coach, that would make a lot of sense. But this is the GM. And I know GMs at some point, not everybody, but some of them have interactions with the players and whatnot, but that's all you can really base it off on. What else can you do? Now, obviously, they didn't put the info out, but I would love to see what Deshaun Watson's input was. Like, did he do a research project and look at the candidates and what they've done in the past and blah, blah, blah? Okay, well, I'm sure the Texans team did that as well. It doesn't make sense. It's really silly to me. But the other part of this is, will Deshaun Watson get traded? What should he be traded for? What would somebody give up? Blah, all that stuff. I don't think he's getting traded. Like the Texans said, they're not trading him. It doesn't make sense to trade. First of all, they just paid him. And so at the end of the day, besides feelings and attributes and how good he is, at the end of the day, he's under contract. And so unless you're going to sit out the rest of that contract, you're going to play for the Texans. Now, if you're the type to say, all right, I'm just going to go out there and be terrible, then I don't think other teams going to want you anyway. Again, slippery slope problem. Ain't nobody trying to pick up no player that's willing to go out there and give half effort just to get what they want. That's not the type of player, especially quarterback, that I want. So I don't think Deshaun Watson has any leverage in this situation. There's a lot of people, you don't want a disgruntled quarterback, blah, blah, blah. Bump that. I mean, we've seen this play out over and over that you don't win as a player. You don't. And by the time Le'Veon Bell won, you've done. You're not even the same player. So obviously he's younger and different position, but still the point is players don't win in this strategy. Not when you in his position where he has no leverage. And so either if he's not willing to sit out, then he's got no leg to stand on. You got a new GM. You don't know. I don't care if you don't have input. You don't know what he's about. And you don't know what he's going to deliver. And then you don't even know who the head coach is. So, like, chill out and relax. But at the end of the day, he's in Texans control. They are not about to give him up. That's my personal opinion. Now, if I get blown away with an offer, maybe. And honestly, there's some intriguing thoughts. Now, this comes down to what you feel about Deshaun Watson. And hopefully I'm going to have some time to really look over. Some players pretty soon on film and whatnot in my free time. But I've seen Deshaun Watson play live a couple times. I've seen him in previous years. I don't think he's this elite quarterback that everybody says he is. And I've heard that about many players in different positions. And they come and they go, and the media, because everybody likes to point to the media. Oh, everybody thinks so. Well, guess what? It don't take them that long to turn on a player. Ask any player. Ask Baker. They done flipped on Baker 3, 4, or 5 times in the same season. So ask Lamar Jackson. Like, it don't take nothing to flip on a player. But I don't think he's an elite type quarterback to say. I think he's very good. I do think that if you put him around a really good team, you're not going to have to worry about trying to, generate offense with him. I think he's got all the tools in place that if you put him in a good supporting cast, they're going to do numbers for you. I don't think they're going to be elite. I don't think he's Pat Mahomes. I don't think he's better than Josh Allen. I don't think he's Russell Wilson. I don't think he's any of those, but he's definitely a really good quarterback. So it comes down to how good he is to you, because if he's as good as people claim he is, you're not getting rid of him. It don't matter. Pretty much like the Jags. It don't matter. I'm not giving up Trevor Lawrence. Now, that's a little different because he's not proven, but similar situation. I'm not giving him up. And so that's how that is. Even if the deal is, unless it's ridiculous, like we'll give you 10 first-round picks or something, but in a realistic terms, I'm not giving him up. Now, if you think he's pretty good, if you would think he's a second to third tier quarterback like me, then there's some intriguing options out there. Because at first, again, my stance is the Texans not going to do it. But if it's me, and some people floated the idea, well, what if the Dolphins give you Tua in the number 3 pick? First off, I don't see that really happening. And it'd be weird because it was your pick in the first place. But I don't really see them giving up both of those straight up for Deshaun Watson. But if they were, that'd be intriguing to me, because now I have a chance to bring in 2 young quarterbacks and really see what I got and then trade the other one. Or maybe Tua as a back. I don't know. Or I could bring in a young quarterback to start fresh with, fresh new head coach. And then I could bring in a top 3 pick to help him, or maybe he'll help my defense, because more than likely J.J. Watt's gone. And so I could do those things. That intrigues me. What was the other one? It just escaped my mind. Oh, people were talking about trying to maybe get Jacksonville's pick. And again, if I'm Jacksonville on their side, no. But it depends on how you look at Deshaun Watson. He's a proven product. Maybe you want to go with that. And so if I could get the number 1 pick and get Trevor Lawrence, maybe that's something I would consider. It depends, again, on how good you think Deshaun Watson is. When we're talking about how much would you give up and would you give him up? Some people are talking about, Ricky Williams, Herschel Walker type draft haul, something crazy. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know that any team is going to really do that. I don't know. And I literally mean that. I don't know what the market is for Deshaun Watson. Obviously, he's under contract. He's got a big cap hit, but he's young and he's proven. You know what he is, whether or not you think he's, top tier, middle tier, whatever. You know what he is, so you know what you're getting, and you know what you could put around him. But I just think if it's the Texans, it's got to be an offer that's off the wall for them to consider it. Because this whole disgruntled thing, and again, like if it was Bill O'Brien and he was still the GM and they did something else that pissed him off and said, okay, well, let me go ahead and request a trade, then I can understand, because we're bringing them back into the same situation. Why do we think it's going to get any better? But in this case, you got a GM you just hired. You don't even have a coach yet. Like, and he's under contract. Let's see what happens, and then we could go from there. I just don't think they're going to get rid of him. That's me personally. So anyway, share it around, get the conversation started. Tell me what you think in the comments section. Thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you for listening.